Good morning. I'm Harriet Agbenyi. Thank you so much for joining me on today's edition of Business Morning. We're live to you from Channels Television, your home for the news, celebrating 21 years of professional broadcasting. Well, the Nigerian financial markets are silent today to celebrate Eid al-Maulud, the birthday of Prophet Muhammad, and to celebrate the day the federal government has declared today a public holiday. But the markets resume on Tuesday on a very busy note. Let's take a look at what we should be expecting to happen this week, and of course that will be impacting on investor sentiments at the market as we draw closer to the end of the year. The President, Muhammadu Buhari, is expected to present the 7.28 trillion naira 2017 budget to a joint session of the National Assembly on December 14. Now, the proposed budget represents an increase of about 19.95% over the 6.07 trillion naira 2016 budget. Oil benchmark is proposed at $42.50 per barrel, daily crude oil production at 2.2 million barrels per day, and a naira-dollar exchange rate of 290. Meanwhile, the Senate has said even though the President Buhari will present the 2017 appropriation bill, they will not consider it until the 2017-2019 medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper it is currently working on is passed. The upper chamber of the National Assembly had condemned the projections in the document, calling it, quote, unrealistic. Also on tap this week, Nigeria Senate will hold a stakeholders public hearing on trade and investment issues. The hearing seeks to repeal the Consumer Protection Act and in its stead establish a new Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, as well as Competition and Consumer Protection Tribunal. The Senate public hearing will also push for an act to scrap the Nigeria Export Processing Zone Authority and replace it with a new Nigeria Development and Zones Commission. The public hearing will also look at new measures aimed against trade in counterfeit goods and protection of copyright and trademarks. And a slew of data is expected from the National Bureau of Statistics Office this week, including November headline inflation numbers, as well as diesel and petrol data. Now, as a recession hits hard on the economy, most economists and market watchers are expecting a further upward movement of inflation data from 18.3% recorded in October. And this week, the Debt Management Office plans to sell 95 billion naira, that's about $302 million worth of bonds at its last debt auction for the year. Using the Dutch auction system, the agency will sell 35 billion naira of the bond maturing in 2036, 25 billion naira of the bond maturing in 2026, and 35 billion naira of the bill maturing in 2021. Now, at its auction in November, the DMO offered the same amount on all three tenors, but sold 5 billion naira of the bond maturing in July 2021, as against 35 billion naira offered, 14 billion naira of the 2026 bond, as against 25 billion naira offered, and 20 billion naira on the 2036 bond versus 35 billion naira offered. Successive bids were allotted at the marginal rates of 15.48, 15.98, and 15.94% respectively. And definitely the Central Bank of Nigeria will be holding a primary market auction, so we expect to see liquidity in the system, even though same amounts will be maturing on Thursday. So on Wednesday, a primary market auction with treasury bills worth 147.50 billion naira on the 91, 182 and 364-day bills will be issued. We'll have 48.1 billion naira for the 91-day bill, 29 billion naira for the 182-day bill, and 70.40 billion naira in the 364-day bill. So as I said, quite a busy week will resume on Tuesday, and investors have got all of this in their sight, in their perspectives as the market resumes. But let's take a look at what else is making headlines at this time with Olumide Macaulay. Olumide, good morning to you.
Good morning, Harriet. An extra day from the weekend for a breather.
So you have
the occasion of the
you have a long
Muslims
weekend, yes, and so the markets
holiday.
are quiet until tomorrow.
Okay. Welcome to Headline News. It's Eid al-Maulud, and Muslims in Nigeria and all over the world are observing the day. Eid al-Maulud is also known as Maulid. It's the observance of the birthday of the Islamic prophet Muhammad, which is celebrated on the 12th day, the third month in the Islamic calendar, while Shia Muslims mark it on the 17th of the month. Muhammad is believed to be the last prophet. Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari has conveyed a goodwill message to Nigerians on the occasion of Eid al-Maulud, describing it as a period of celebration and deep reflection. He asked Nigerians to use the occasion of this to reflect on the current challenges of the nation, urging Nigerians not to lose faith in the ability of his administration to make a difference in the lives of the people. He also mentions the 2017 budget proposals, which he'll lay before the National Assembly on Wednesday, to contain measures that will help to get the nation out of economic recession. The death toll in the Madagali bomb attack is said to have risen to 30, with several other people sustaining injuries. Those injured are getting attention at Mishika and Mubi General Hospitals. The Madagali attack was perpetrated by two suicide bombers on Saturday. And on the foreign scene, rescue and emergency in Egypt say at least 25 people have been killed in a bomb explosion in the Coptic Christian Cathedral complex in Cairo. Dozens of others were injured in the blast in a chapel adjoining St. Mark's Cathedral during a Sunday service. Many of the victims are thought to be women and children. You can find details of these stories and more on our website, channelstv.com. Business Morning continues with Harriet.
Well, thank you so much, Olumide. So let's continue the program and review how the markets, the segments of the markets that we cover on the show are finished off last week. Of course, today, as I said, is a public holiday, so the markets are closed. But finishing off from last week and ahead of the primary market auction, we saw investors kind of trading mixed on the Treasury bill segment of the market, as we saw total number of deals coming in at 697. Remember, during the week, we saw increased volume, increased activity on that segment of the market, where we had over 1,000 deals done on Treasury bills. But for Friday, that came in at 697, valued at 183.77 billion naira. Now, of the 28 benchmark Treasury bills traded on Friday, these are the top four. Bonds, the bill maturing on the 16th of February 2017, 19th of January 2017, 23rd of February 2017, and 2nd of February 2017. Still, investors favoring short to medium dated Treasury bills on the FMDQ OTC's market, as we can see there. So the most active was the bill maturing on the 16th of February with a discount high of 17.10% and a value of 37 billion naira, exchanged in 134 deals. You can see the others there that we track for you on the program as well. For FGN bonds, we see there was kind of tepid activity on FGN bonds with 63 deals and a value of 7.10 billion naira. Of course, investors taking position ahead of this week's debt bond market FGN bonds auction by the Debt Management Office. About 95 billion naira will be on offer. So investors, of course, paid particular attention to one of the bonds that will be traded on Wednesday, as the bond maturing on the 18th of March 2036, that had a price high of 78.40, as well as the bond maturing on the 22nd of January 2026, that had a price high of 83.40, and we can see different valuations there from 900 million to about 2.40 billion recorded on Friday. And for the week just ended, the NSE All-Share Index rallied 0.30% on the back of gains recorded by oil and gas and some bank stocks as well that pushed the key indicators up. The All-Share Index finished at 25,817.69 for the week just ended, and market capitalization is at 8.88 trillion naira. Total number of deals came in at 13,418 with value of 10.62 billion naira and a volume of 894.75 million. Quite a reduced number there as against the previous week where we saw that at over 1 billion shares traded by investors. So where is the currencies market at? As of Friday, that finished flat as the interbank. From the interbank, we saw the naira to the dollar closing flat at 305 naira 50 kobo. The naira to the British pound is at 408 naira 75 kobo, and to the euro is 331.84. Another segment of the market, the parallel market, the street market, where most people, retailers, individuals, and even some businesses actually source for their FX. You have the naira to the dollar also flat at 485 naira. Naira to the pound is at 602, and to the euro is at 516. So this week, the President will present the 2017 budget to a joint session of the National Assembly. And in that budget for 2017, the oil benchmark is at $42.50 per barrel. And recently, Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries trimmed its production output by 1.2 million barrels per day. And even after the meeting with non-OPEC members, it was also decided that those members would trim their own production as well by as much as 600 barrels per day. So in light of this, we're asking our viewers, should the federal government review the downward or upward the benchmark for oil price at $42.50 as contained in the 2017 budget? So the options are agree, disagree, indifferent, or none of the above. Of course, this particular poll has been running for the last couple of days, and it's on our Twitter handle, that's at Biz Morning. You know, you can send your thoughts and comments and also be part of the survey. You can also let us know what you're thinking with regards to this particular poll. Send your views to businessmorning@channelstv.com. So that's the handle for the show at Biz Morning. You can also tweet at Channels TV. We're glad to read from you. Don't forget, we're celebrating 21 years of professional broadcasting. Let's know your thoughts on issues that we talk about on all our programs. I'm at CTV Harriet. I'll be glad to read from you as well and engage you as objectively as possible. And B. Bolson will be glad to mind your business as well. So we're going to take a quick break now on the program, and when we come back, we've got a whole lineup of issues to talk about on the program. Bolson will be in to talk about developments in the Nigeria energy market. We'll also be listening to Mr. Godwin Emefiele, CBN governor, who was at the Bankers Committee meeting, the last for the year. They talked about improved on lending to SMEs and, of course, the real sector of the economy. Also on the program, we're talking about the regulatory environment, creating a regulatory environment to ensure improved inflows for all sectors of the economy. Bismarck Rwane, CEO of Enterprise of Financial Derivatives Company, joins me to talk about some of the issues in that segment. Stay with us.